Hi, Diana.
Hi, Howard. How are you?
I'm here.
Me too.
Looks like we're going this time.
All right, I think we got service. Let's see if Mr. Klein can get hooked up.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right, yes, good afternoon. You're Brian Klein?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me give you a proper name here. This is file number 231082. We tried this earlier, September 18th. The defendant was not present, but I do not believe he'd been served. We learned from Diana Lamont, the manager, that the defendant was still there, hadn't paid rent since June, but we didn't have service. So we tried to get service, which we did. Sergeant Morse did effect personal service. So we're here on a non-payment of rent case. Mr. Klein, as a defendant in such a case, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. I think they'll be joining us here shortly. If the action is for non-payment of rent, if you are eligible for any assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the Federal Homeless Veterans Program, or any other program, you do not need a judgment to get that assistance. The summons and complaint from the court case are sufficient. If the plaintiff is agreeable, the Citizens Mediation Services, Inc. may be available as a possible source of case resolution. If both parties are agreeable to mediation, we can help set that up. If you do reach an agreement with the plaintiff and a consent judgment is entered by the court, you would waive the rights listed above, but have the following additional rights. The judgment could not be enforced until 3 business days had passed. You could move to set aside the judgment within those 3 days if you misunderstood what you consented to or what you were waiving. Your motion to set aside the judgment would be set for a landlord-tenant hearing, but if the judge did not find in your favor, the original judgment would stand. Now, Mr. Bush and Ms. Lamont have provided an updated accounting. The allegation is that through
I believe this is
through October, the rent is $3,900. Is that correct, Diana?
That's including the late fee. Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, $100 late fee.
Correct.
And then if we include a water and sewer bill of $618, attorney fee, service fee, and court cost, the total through October is, this is a mistake. It was booking from the jail. We'll get back to them. The rent is $4,692.35. Mr. Klein, what's your position?
Well, Your Honor, I'm on my way to, my dad's in hospice. He's only got 3 days, 3 or 4 days. They said maybe at the most. My position, I lost my job. And then I was in a motorcycle accident. I've been doing handyman work. I recently started a new job, but I'm on my way to Wisconsin right now. I had applied for assistance at DHS, and they said they would get with me before today. That's kind of where I'm at. I just started a job, so.
Where's the job?
It's a C&B Home Remedies. I work for a guy named Cameron Bowers.
Well, the law requires that I adjourn this for 7 days. But this is just a situation of you haven't paid the rent. This isn't subsidized. I don't think DHS is going to give you $4,600, although I am hopeful that with the new fiscal year that they will have some money. But I'm going to continue this until October 9th at 2:20. Does that work for you, Howard?
Yes. I believe so.
Does that work for you, Mr. Klein? You can appear by Zoom once again.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now, if they get what they ask for, you would have 10 days from October 9th to move, or you would be subject to being evicted. Meaning you have to pay the rent, the entire amount of the rent by October 9th, or the sheriff can come put your stuff out on the street. Now, if you are eligible for any assistance, the rules are about to change on November 6th. When people are applying for assistance, they have to fill out a specific form and prove that they're doing it. I don't disbelieve that you're doing it, but if you're sitting around waiting for them to call you back, they probably have about 3,000 people on that list. I don't know. There are a lot of people seeking emergency financial assistance. During COVID, there was a lot of money available, and that money is all gone. And people are having a tough time paying the rent. But here it's October. No rent has been paid since June. And we're also incurring sewer and water bills. And so they're now behind $4,600. So we'll reconvene next week. I would suggest you call back to DHS or other funding agency. The only thing that will cure this is paying the entire amount. Partial payment won't. Now, they can agree to work with you for up to 56 days, but they may be reluctant to do that because this is so big. They also have a waiting list of people waiting to come in. Everybody does. So 2 suggestions. You stay in contact with Ms. Lamont, your manager, and I'm sorry about your circumstance with your father, and you contact DHS. But we'll reconvene next Monday, October 9th at 2:20.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Do you have a question? Yes?
Yes, I do. You mentioned another place that helps with that in the beginning of our meeting.
Well, the veterans, perhaps. Were you a vet?
No, I thought there was another one.
DHS Keystone. Keystone, I don't think has any money.
No.
I'm not sure who has any money at this point.
Okay.
Through August and September, people were saying we don't have any funding. Then I was told they were going to get a new fiscal year October 1st. But there are a lot of people looking to have some assistance. And so those are the 2 I know, Keystone and Department of Health and Human Services.
All right, thank you.
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Good luck, sir. All right, well, we got him served. He was hard to find when they were going over there. I'm not sure he didn't get served by attachment, but what he's got going on can't sustain itself. So I'll see you guys next week at 2:20.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. George. Good afternoon, Mr. George.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Good. Our next scheduled case is Glenn Middleton, who's not closely related to me, might be related up the line, versus Karen Lee. You have submitted an order of dismissal without prejudice. I don't remember if she moved or, oh, she moved.
Yes, sir.
So that is our 120 case. So our next matter is not for 10 minutes till 1:25. And then you filed another dismissal after that, so we're gonna have some gaps. But we got a couple of first hearings on CAC LLC.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll put you guys in the waiting room. If somebody shows up, I'll bring you back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, we'll see what we got. I've looked at our other files. I have a criminal matter that I had to fit in here someplace. It might not be till after small claims. Oh, thank you. We may have some other dismissals in there too. Sometimes people come in person, but I don't think that's going to happen with these. Although, seemed like Mr. Rhodes came in on something. 4 minutes. I don't, oh. We do have leases in here. They're just expired. But I don't have a copy of the lease in roads. I do in the other case, I guess. You were gonna work with this client on getting a better lease. And I guess this one is better. And we have a 125 and a 130 and then a dismissal. I had arraignments this morning in lieu of Judge Pattison being gone, and only 2 of 4 people showed up. Have you gone to your conference yet, Tim, or is that this week?
I leave tonight, Judge. I'm gonna touch base with you after your calendar's done, just give you an update on where I'm at. Because I have a
thank you.
couple matters set for tomorrow morning.
Okay. I frankly expected Mr. Rhodes to be here. He was personally served. Here he is now. Here's our next defendant. Mr. Rhodes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We're waiting for Mr. Hardy to come in.
How you doing, Judge Middleton?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Long time no see.
Yeah, that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
I saw a guy the other day I'd seen about 25 years. Mr. Hardy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, good afternoon to you too, sir. This is Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse. These are both landlord-tenant matters having to do with CAC1 LLC. And I believe both of these are termination of tenancy actions. Also present with us is Mr. Tim George, who's the attorney for the landlord, and Meg Bauer from Legal Aid is also on the feed. I'm going to advise both of you what your rights are as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. This case, as I said, is a termination of tenancy case where the landlord is asking you to move. As a defendant in such a proceeding, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If the action is for non-payment of rent, we would be taking a different direction than we are here. If the plaintiff is agreeable, the Citizens Mediation Services, Inc. may be available as a possible source of case resolution. If both parties are interested in doing a mediation, the court can help set it up. If you do reach an agreement with the plaintiff and a consent judgment is entered by the court, you would waive the rights listed above but have the following additional rights. The judgment may not be enforced until 3 business days had passed. You could move to set aside the judgment within those 3 days if you misunderstood what you consented to or what you were waiving. Your motion to set aside the judgment would be set for a landlord-tenant hearing. However, if the judge did not find in your favor, the original judgment would stand. So let's start with Mr. Rhodes. Mr. Rhodes,
Yes, sir.
I understand the lease is up. They served a notice to quit on you on June 14th, and your landlord wants you to move. What's your response?
Well, I have no problem with moving, sir. It's just I got laid off of work, and back in January, I used to work at Atlantic Packaging. So I had to use my 401k to pay them up. Once that ran out, I was unable to get another job until now. I started at Graphic Packaging September 9th, and I just so far behind, I can't catch up. But I already have a new place. I'm just asking for a little bit of an extension so I can move when my apartments get ready. I had already had planned on moving. He's not a good landlord. I'm trying to get away from him as soon as possible, and I'm just being honest.
All right, well, okay. Well, the law requires that I adjourn this at least 7 days. So we're going to adjourn this to October 9th.
Okay.
At 2:30. Does that work for you, Tim?
I will make it work, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Rhodes, actually, you'll get 10 more days from October 9th to move or be subject to being evicted. That would take it to October 19th. Now, if you move between now and next Monday, if you turn in the keys and give your forwarding address in writing, you don't even need to show up. But if you're still there, we will address it further. Now, I'm not making any hearing or finding regarding money damages. This is simply a possession judgment where I want you to move. What town are you moving to?
I still be in Sturgis, but I'll be moving around the corner. But right now, my apartment's not ready. The new landlord is still working on the floor and stuff, so I have to wait until they're done with that.
All right, well, maybe we'll get to the 19th of October and they'll have the place ready. You were talking Graphic Packaging in Kalamazoo?
No, the one out here in Sturgis.
Okay. All right, well, I will see you next Monday at 2:30.
Okay.
And we'll see what the circumstance is then. If you move before that, as I said, turn in the keys and give your forwarding address, you don't even have to come. Otherwise, we'll address it next week. So you're good to go.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Hardy, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
You were about 18 when we first met, long time ago.
Yeah,
And how's your sister doing,
which one?
Elaine?
Elaine, she's doing good. She lives in Dallas now.
Dallas. I haven't seen her since her retirement dinner. Well, good for her. Well, let's talk about your circumstance. It's similar to the last gentleman. Your landlord wants you to move. Your lease expired. They served a notice to quit on you in June. And what's your position?
My position is, ever since he served my notice in June, I've asked him to send me paperwork with my court date on it because I had apartments lined up, but Centerville couldn't help me without my notice to show up before you. So I've been asking for the last 2 months for my paperwork, and I just got it 10 days ago. I am also
All right, well, let me take a look at this. This lawsuit was filed on August 1st.
yes, and I just got the paperwork 10 days ago.
And you got served by Sergeant. Yeah, you're right. You didn't get served until September 22nd.
Yes,
Do you know what's up with that, Tim?
and I've asked you for 2 months to send me the paperwork so we wouldn't even be sitting here. I'd be gone already.
All right, well, we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to, so he's left holding the bag. You don't pay him rent. You get assistance to go somewhere else. He asked you to move in June. It's now October. And it's his fault because he didn't serve you with this until September 22nd, where you could help to move somewhere else.
Right.
In the meantime, he's out June, July, August, September, and October's rent.
No, he's not. I paid him rent in those months.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Only month I didn't pay him was last month.
Okay, very good. Well, all right, let's continue this until next week. Now, there's a representative here from Legal Aid. Would you like to speak to her?
I mean, Centerville said they'd help me. I just need.
All right.
I just need the.
Well, yeah,
document.
you've got the summons and complaint.
Yeah. Now I just now got it. So now I have already lost one apartment waiting on it. So now
All right.
I'm trying to get a subsidized apartment. I don't know how long that's going to take.
Well, hopefully that will pan out. Let's continue this to October 9th at 2:35.
Okay.
By Zoom like this once again. And Ms. Bauer will be here again then. Now, I would give you from that date, if they get what they're asking for, until October 19th to move. Hopefully that can be enough time to line up another place. But yeah, there's a big gap between when the lawsuit was filed and when it actually got served.
Right.
And I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah.
Your Honor.
But yeah,
Just looking in our file, it looks like we filed this on August 1st. The summons was issued on September 11th, and we served it, about 10 days later.
all right, so we didn't issue it till 11th. Yeah, that's not good. All right. Well, Mr. Hardy, we will address this next week at 2:35. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, I'm just trying to figure out how soon I'm going to be able. I already got trucks, mine, everything. I just need to get me an apartment.
All right, I hope it works out. I'll see you next week, all right?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, our last one is CAC1 LLC versus Kayla Howard. And this is a dismissal again without prejudice. um, and indicated she also had moved. Mr. Hardy, I'll remove you this so you can get on with your business.
Okay.
She has a case pending later this month, and she lists this as her address. But we'll see. Do you have a forwarding address for her, Tim?
We do not. I asked my client and he was not provided a forwarding address.
Well, I'm supposed to see her on the 16th. I guess I'll figure out what it is at that time. All
you.
right, that finishes your stuff for today, I believe.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Meg, I have a civil case at 145. I don't have another landlord-tenant case until 2.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. So I can hang out in the waiting room.
All right, I'll just put you in there. Okay. World's most boringest live feed. We'll pick up a little bit once we finish these. We have a 2, 210, 220, 230, 240, 245. Well, it is 1:45. That is the time for our hearing. In the matter of First National Bank of Omaha versus Michael Babcock. We were here in this matter, which is in file 23752 GC on September 15th. September 18th. It was scheduled for a 9:30 pretrial that morning. It was also scheduled for a summary disposition motion for today. So we thought perhaps the defendant was confused about which date. So we continued the matter until today, October 2nd at 1:45. Ms. Naviat Francis appeared on behalf of the Rusin Law Firm for the plaintiff at that time. So hopefully she will log in momentarily. Well, we're gonna sit here for 13 more minutes until 2 o'clock. I expected someone to be here on this. Spent time reading it all. Good afternoon, sir. Are you here on First National Bank versus Babcock?
I am, Your Honor.
Thank you. I've been staring into space for 6 minutes, waiting for some. The world's most boringest live feed, just me staring into space while we wait for someone to appear. Let me call the case. File 23752 GC First National Bank of Omaha versus Michael Babcock. Mr. Babcock filed an answer in this matter. Plaintiff filed a motion for summary disposition. They also filed a request for admissions and interrogatories. The defendant did not respond to any of those. This matter was set for a pretrial conference on September 18th, and attorney Nevion Francis appeared on that time, but it was also noticed for a summary disposition hearing for today. So we continued the matter until today to give the defendant an opportunity to appear if he so chose, but he has not. So it does appear the case is appropriate for summary disposition. It's well pled and well briefed. There is no material issue of fact, and the defendant has not stated a defense.
Yeah. Thank you.
I was looking to see if I had an order granting summary disposition, but I couldn't find one. So I'm going to grant summary disposition. It's the second time he failed to appear for $9,068.50. Plus a filing fee of $95. A service fee looks like $665. That's an odd number.
Service fee was $27.75 in this case.
All right. And the statutory attorney fee.
Laws. Here's that form. This is all the things that was explained.
Plus a $20 motion fee. So costs are $217.75. Plus the principal amount of $9,068.50 equals $9,286.25. I would ask if you would submit an order. Usually there's an order in here, but I went through it a couple of times and I couldn't find it. So there was a motion for summary disposition, a brief supporting it, but no order. So let's recap. Damages of $9,068.50, court costs of $217.75 for a total of $9,286.25. You send me the order. In fact, you can even email it. I'll give you the address. It's 3B. Well, you're not in a place to write anything down. This isn't the best way to do business. Are you in another court?
I am, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I understand. You had to finish one hearing to do the next one. All right.
Yeah.
Just submit it under the 7-day rule. This
Okay.
is on YouTube if you want to review it to get all the facts straight. But he isn't here. He hasn't been here twice. And we will await your order. What court are you in?
I am in the East Point District.
All right. Well, if you run into my old roommate, Kevin Smith, tell him I said hello.
Will do, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
I have to be somewhat indulgent, but they hire temporary people to show up and they're double and triple booked. I was going to try to give them the address while he's standing there in the hallway, but we got done what we needed to do. The defendant didn't deign to appear twice. Hello, Lance.
Good morning, Judge.
Feels like afternoon over here in Centerville, but might be morning in Colon. We got a couple cases to address. We've kind of been going in fits and starts here. But you've got a couple cases coming up. These are second hearings. Our first one's at 2. And our next one's at 2:08, I believe. 08. I don't know. I think they just couldn't read my writing. 2:08. I just wanted to see if anybody was paying attention. 2:08. That's what it says. All right, it is 2:00. This next matter is Sturgis Place Apartments versus Irene Vasquez. The file number is 231065LT. We were here a week ago, I think actually about 10 days ago on September 22nd. Mr. Thornton was here, Meg Bauer was here, and Maria, the manager, was here. I don't think the defendant was here. The matter was continued until today. We learned at that time that the arrearage was 3712. We're now into October. So Mr. Thornton has filed a current accounting alleging that the rent is $4,490, $165.48 in utilities, and a filing fee of service fee and attorney fee for court costs of $183.51, making the total arrearage with utilities and costs $4,838.99. Is that still accurate?
It is, Your Honor.
Lance, I don't think I have an order here. I got the,
I will,
let me look, maybe I have one buried last time.
should have been sent over, but I can re-email it.
It would normally be with your first accounting sheet,
It would be.
but I can't find it.
Okay, hang on just a minute and I'll shoot it to you.
All right, thank you. Send it to 3B. Oh, here it is. I found it. It's
Okay.
that document with a blue sticker on it that says judgment that Lisa put on. That's why I couldn't find it, because it was right in front of my face. Just ask my wife about my search skills or my staff. All right, rent through October. Maria, is the client still there?
Your Honor, I am not sure. The notes are still on the door. The card from the process server is still in the door, but the neighbors across the hall keep saying that they see them coming and go, like they'll pop in briefly, but it's been about a week since I've heard anything.
And you mentioned there was an unauthorized tenant in there also.
Yes.
Well, they have until October 12th to pay $4,838.99. or be subject to being evicted. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. No money judgment is entered. And October 12th is also the appeal date. The next one also has a judgment with a blue sticker on it, so I guess I'll be able to find it. We have to wait till 2:08. He's Andrew Rognus. If you'd like to evict him, we can pursue that.
Not be available for that defense.
You'd have to recuse yourself?
Sure, that's it.
Okay. Good afternoon, Andrew. We'll be with you in a bit.
Okay.
I suggested that maybe Lance could evict you, but Meg said she couldn't represent you in that kind of a case.
I probably need it.
I could talk to Rick if I really needed to. If he could do a solid.
All right. Well, these clients probably aren't showing up, Andy, but we've got to let the clock tick a little bit.
Not a problem. You saw that I did the dismissal on Elizabeth's case.
Well, I saw the first email. I didn't see the second one because I've been
Well,
here.
no,
So
the dismissal came through. I think it went to the clerk. So that one's off. That'll hopefully get you back on schedule.
all right, well, we're on schedule. We've had several gaps in our smile here, but
Yeah, Elizabeth's was the 240.
yes. Yeah, I saw that email first thing this morning. I appreciate your staying on top of that. So
Well,
the closing
I
did go
thought that
through?
one was going. We just wanted to make sure the closing took place.
Thank you. Here is somebody. Good afternoon. Are you Anthony Black?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're there at Lippert?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll get you back to work here in a minute. This is a return to file 231066 LT titled Sturgis Place Apartments versus Anthony Black. We were here 10 days ago on September 22nd. The matter was continued till today. I don't think Mr. Black was here last time. We continued the matter until today.
He did join us last time, Your Honor.
Okay, I think he posted on the door. Yeah, then he did come in late. The rent, they claim September's rent is down to $263. October's rent is $1085. So the total amount of rent due is $1,348.38 through October. Do you accept that, Mr. Black?
Yes, sir.
All right, 1,348.38. Utilities are $41.15. And the court costs are $183.51. For a total of $1,573.04. That's due by October 12th. I think you got a plan to pay all this. Is that correct, Mr. Black?
Yes, sir.
I think you're going to be okay. The defendant may be liable for other money damages if additional rent is owed or there's damage to the property. Acceptance of a partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. No money judgment entered at this time. Now, the date for the writ is 10 days from today. which is October the 12th. October the 12th is a Thursday. So theoretically, unless you pay the entire amount by that day, you're subject to being evicted. However, they don't have to evict you on that day. They actually have 56 days from the day to ask for the writ of eviction. But you made a pretty good dent on September's rent. My suggestion is that you stay in contact with Maria, the manager. If you pay all the rent by that date, then things just go on and rent is due October 1st or November 1st. If for some reason you can't pay the rent and you have to move, you need to turn in the keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. You understand?
Yes, sir. I plan on having it all paid.
Very good. The total is $1,573.04. That includes utilities, rent, and costs. All right, I've signed a judgment to that effect. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're good to get back to work. Stay in contact with your manager.
Yes, sir. Will do.
Thank you.
Do I just hang up or I have to wait for
I'll
you?
hang up on you and you're good to go.
And I'll hang up, Your Honor. I think that does it for me.
Okay, thank you. You're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, where is that case?
Is it, might have, you still have it, I think.
Here it
in
is.
there? Okay.
This is file, Andy's file 231119 SP Anton and Elizabeth Datkovic versus Adriana Alcantor Rivera and Uriel Gallegos Alcantor. Andrew has filed a dismissal without prejudice. He spoke to that a bit ago.
Man, you are butchering some of those names.
Well, I'm sorry. It is important to say people's names correctly, but my English is barely serviceable and my Spanish
Even less so.
even less so. All right, thank you, Andrew.
No problem.
All right, now we've got Country Hearth versus McDonald, and that is at 2:30. And then we have a 2:20 Country Hearth versus Hendricks and Lytle. So I'll put you guys in the waiting room again. We got more dead air here.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna try to do the criminal case at 2:30 if I can get all the stars aligned. So let me go get that. We're down to our two final landlord-tenant matters, criminal matter, and then we have a small claims case. So I'll be back in just a moment. Laura, do you know what I did with that Michael Frederick case? Jenny? Did I send it out with some other cases by mistake? Andrew, Mr. McDonald is here, who's actually the 230 case.
Okay,
And so we'll get right to it. Good afternoon, Mr. McDonald. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're a little early and there's no harm in that. We'll start early. This is file 231118 LT. It's entitled Country Hearth Apartments versus Robert McDonald.
It's missing. Jenny doesn't have it.
I don't have it. I don't know what to, I think that Shayna printed it up, but I'm not. At any rate, we were here on the 25th, which was a week ago. Oh,
Just that.
okay. You apparently had moved out, moved back in, had some dispute with the new owners. You don't have a lease. You complain they're not paying your pay. And I put you in a breakout room with Meg at that time from Legal Aid. Mr. Rognus, the plaintiff still seeking to terminate this tenancy.
Your Honor, they indicated to me he was never an employee of theirs. So yes.
Of the new owners. What's your position, Mr. McDonald?
I was definitely an employee there.
I guess, Your Honor, if in fact he was, that's something to take up with the Michigan Department of Labor. It has nothing to do with your rent.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can sue them for willful failure to pay wages or take it up with the labor department, but you don't have a lease and you're not paying any rent. Have you made any effort to find another place to move to?
Yeah.
All right,
I've
can you
got-
move within, can you move within 10
within-
days?
Probably, yeah.
All right.
Your Honor,
Meg, you had a
that's
chance to
the
speak with
number
him.
65, not number 20. That judgment is his old room number.
All right, I'll change it. Meg, you have any further input on this?
As regards the landlord-tenant case, no.
Yeah, you may have a complaint for wages, but you have until October 12th to move, or you're subject to being evicted. Probably want to get out of there anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
There are enough regular jobs over there, the ones that kind of actually have regular
Pay
hours
money.
and pay. All right, Mr. McDonald, you have 10 days to move or you're subject to being evicted. That 10 days is October 12th. No money judgment is entered at this time. You also have until October 12th to appeal this. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right, you're good to go. October 12th is your move out date.
All right, thank you.
Okay, very good. Then we'll do our 220 case, which is Country Hearth versus Sam Hendricks and Shannon Lytle. They were also placed in a breakout room with Meg, had some other complaints. Similar to the last gentleman. They're not here today. Are they still there, Andrew?
They had indicated to my client that they were going to be moving. I don't think they're out yet.
Well, by default, they're subject to a writ on or after. Here they are now, just a couple minutes late. Ms. Hendricks, can you hear me? I think it's backwards. I think I had it. It's Sam Lytle and Shannon Hendricks. I had, the pleadings are backwards. Mr. Lytle, can you hear me?
Do you have your sign?
I think he's gonna get there. That does not look like the Country Hearth. Yes, it does. Got dizzy here.
Yeah. I was gonna say I feel like the tilt-a-whirl ride at the county fair, but
Is it unmuted?
Very good. Ms. Hendricks, can you hear me?
I'm Mr. Lytle. I can hear you. Sorry, I'm late, Your Honor. I had
Yes.
to to get here from work.
All right, well, we were fumbling along here. This is a continuation of file 231117 LT, Sam Lytle and Shannon Hendricks, Country Hearth Inn. We continue this matter for October 25th until today. Your landlord still wants you to move. Are you still there?
We are. I got several $100s saved up. It's a matter of finding a place. We're trying. We are trying.
All right, yeah, everyone's in the same boat. And there's other people waiting to come into your unit. You have 10 days from today to move, which is October the 12th. Or you're subject to being evicted. It's not a default, it's a hearing. When you move, you need to turn in the keys and give your forwarding address within 4 days of your moving, and that needs to be done in writing. That triggers the security deposit. No, to them. You need to give your forwarding address and turn in the keys to your landlord within 4 days of your moving. You also have until October 12th to appeal this.
Okay.
Hopefully you can find a place to move to, but it's tough right now.
You
Rent
may
hasn't
wanna
been paid
correct the-
here in some time. Andrew, you had a comment?
Yeah, I was gonna say you may want to correct the caption.
Yes, I did. It's Sam Lytle and Shannon Hendricks. We had it backwards.
I've been trying to find a place since I got out of jail there. And then I got absent everywhere. I've talked to face-to-face with landlords. I think I might have a lead. The fellow lives in LaGrange. He's got some houses up here. I'm just waiting to hear back from him.
All right, stay in contact with your manager. They don't have to evict you on October 12th, but by the letter of the law, they can. I'm not ordering that you pay any money. I'm simply ordering that you move. After you move, we may have a hearing at a later date regarding money, but this is only about possession. Do you have any questions?
Okay.
What?
So we have a lawyer that is taking our case. So.
All right, very good. That'll be regarding other issues, payment of wages and that sort of thing. All right, you're good to go.
All right, thank you. Sorry again for being late.
All right, thank you.
Okay, that's the last one for me, Your Honor. And I suspect my Friday the 13th ones are gonna go too, because one's already moved out. One called the other day and said if they were moved out before Friday the 13th, was it gonna go? And I said, no, in fact, you're moved out, so. It's 1:45 and 2 o'clock on Friday the 13th.
Okay.
So
All right,
possibly.
I was gonna try to do a criminal matter at 2:30 and no one's here from the public defender, so we'll let that percolate. I have one more case, Meg. I thought I was done, but she
Okay,
brought me
guys.
one. All right, Andrew, we'll see you next time.
So long, Nick.
Amber Bowerman,
Yeah, scheduled for 2:45.
yes.
Yeah.
She was gonna get caught up. She made a substantial payment. The rent was down to $394. That one may have taken care of itself. That lady has made some substantial inroads on her arrearages.
Yeah, I think she did have an opportunity to speak with me last time. So I'm happy to stick around, but I can also get out of your hair if that would be helpful.
I'll put you, you're fine. I'll put you in the waiting room. You've been stuck in limbo all afternoon. But you're reading War and Peace in between our gaps, so you're up to page 96.
Close.
Okay, I'll see you in a bit. All right, I don't know what happened to our criminal case. Of course, I don't even find the file.
Here's the violation. Sorry that took us a minute.
Well, his lawyer is Ross.
Well, so did you want me to send the notice?
No, I sent it to legal aid, asking them to come in, and Debbie, but I haven't seen anybody yet. So I saw Mr. Rice at about 11. I
You
mean,
did
Mr.
see him.
Well, no, I saw him on something else.
Oh, okay.
But I will, here's Keith, so we can
You
do
mean
it.
Frederick, right? 'Cause it's my-
Mr. Frederick,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
All right, well, if you need anything, let me
Thanks.
know. Thanks, Judge.
Hi, Deputy Keeley. Judge Middleton calling. Could I see Michael Sean Frederick? Thanks. Bye. Keith, this is let me stop the record and restart it. It's a bond violation, and he had allegedly violated it once before, and I let him out. And he is accused of doing the same thing, being in contact with the complainant he's not supposed to be in contact with. Ross has been appointed to represent him, I think, or maybe he was his original counsel. But yeah, he is his attorney because it's pending a last pretrial on October 19th.
Your Honor, when they connect, would it be possible, and I'll try to keep it brief, to just go in a breakout room with them real quick?
Yeah, that would be fine. How was your weekend? Too hot?
Yeah, I mean, we had people. It was a busy weekend, but yeah, it would have been a lot busier if the entire region wasn't partying on the lakes all week. It was beautiful out. I mean,
Yeah, I bet the bees were bad, but yeah, that Fisher Lake was like a middle of the summer, July day.
did you spend a lot of time on the boat this weekend?
Yeah, we did. The little kids don't care if the water's cold.
Homer Lake's still almost 70 degrees, they were saying. This last week that I heard from the lake board, that's warm.
Well, I went in multiple times, but it was quite brisk. Invigorating, we'll call it.
Invigorating, yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Frederick. I told you I'd get you back this afternoon. I had to find a spot to put it. You've been charged with violating the conditions of your bond. For the second time.
For the second time.
Damn.
Yeah. There was a complaint. No, that's the same thing. It's just in here twice. I thought there was an earlier one. The file number here is 23189SM. Your counsel of record is Ross Truckee, and this matter is set for a last pretrial conference for October 19th in front of Judge Pattison. Judge Pattison isn't available today, so this has come to my attention. I saw it first thing this morning. It is a condition of your bond that you have no contact with Clara Halsey Vanderwall, among other things, no weapons, no assaultive behavior, no alcohol.
The only thing involved there was.
All right, well, don't say anything. Don't say anything yet. I'm just telling you what the allegations are. Mr. Keith Stickley, who's the chief public defender, is here, and he's going to meet with you just for a minute in the breakout room. You got arrested last night, made contact with Clara Halsey at the Spartan Motel to interview her regarding some other assault. I observed Michael Frederick to be on the scene with her. I had prior knowledge of a bond conditional release protecting and prohibited Michael from having contact with Clara. Michael was taken into custody at that time. So it's alleged that you violated your bond by having contact with Clara Halsey at the Spartan Motel yesterday. I'm going to put you in what's called a breakout room with Mr. Stickley, the public defender, and you guys can discuss this privately, all right?
Yes, sir.
Hit the button that says join. Good afternoon, Ms. Bowerman. You're in the right spot. Let me put you in the waiting room for a bit. We're working on a criminal case. Oh, there she goes. Good afternoon. I'm in the middle of a criminal case, but,
Oh, okay.
well, they're in a breakout room, so maybe we can address this while they're talking. It's gonna jumble this record all up, but we're gonna return to the matter of Bristol Arms Apartments versus Amber Bowerman. Ms. Bowerman is logged in from work, which we appreciate. Attorney Victoria Osborne is here again on behalf of Bristol Arms Apartments. Also, Meg Bauer from Legal Aid waited around just for us. We determined last time on September 25th that rent was $394.99 and court costs were $234.58. We're now into another month of October. So Ms. Osborne, what's the current status here?
So, Your Honor, it would be, the total owed is $1,255.57. $234.58 of that is court costs. Which leaves rent due in the amount of $1,020.99.
Ms. Bowerman, what do you say to that?
I'm working on it. I've got about half of it right now. I get paid weekly, and I should have all of it by the 12th, October 12th.
Very good. Ms. Osborne, I don't have a judgment in here. So if you would email me one to the 3 civil address. So Ms. Bowerman, you owe $1,020.99 through October of 2023. $234.58, which is the filing fee, the process server fee, and the attorney fee. So the total is $1,255.57. Now, you have to pay the entire amount. A partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. If you get it all paid by October 12th, great. They don't have to evict you on October 12th. They have 56 days from today to ask for the writ of eviction. And so if you're going to make a substantial payment, they'll probably give some consideration for that. As I often say, it's easier to keep a good tenant in there than to move one out and move another one in. But if you do pay everything by that date, you're golden, and then you just get back to the 1st of November for November's rent. If for any reason you do have to move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving.
Okay.
Ms. Osborne, you have our email address, don't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bowerman, do you have any other questions?
I don't believe so, no.
All right, stay in contact with your manager. For example, let's say you pay $900 of this and you still owe $355, but you have a plan to pay it. Well, you share that with them, and it should work itself out. So I hope you can get caught up on this by October 12th.
Yes, I hope so.
The writ appeal is 10/12.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Meg, you have a good afternoon.
You as well.
Keith, I did a landlord-tenant case right in the middle of that record, but it won't hurt anything, I guess. Let's close the breakout room.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.
You have so much fun on Fridays, you had to bring them back on a Monday.
Well, yes. 44 seconds. Well, he's gone. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, I'm operating the computer.
All right. So the allegation is that you were with Clara in violation of your bond conditions. The officers were aware of those bond conditions. They were apparently wanted to interview you and Clara about some other assault. And I'm not clear what that is, but they found you there. And that violates your bond.
Can I clarify
Mr.
that, sir?
Yes, well, let me hear from Mr. Stickley first. Mr. Stickley?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that Mr. Frederick is going to make an admission, and just by way of explanation to give the court kind of a heads up. Mr. Frederick is renting a room at the Spartan Motel. That's where he lives. He works at Precision Wire. The subject that he's not supposed to have contact with does not reside there. However, she keeps following him around. He's her only, they were in a relationship or are in a relationship, but he's her only form of support. It's my understanding that she has some mental and other difficulties. I don't know if the court is aware of her, familiar with her at all.
Yes.
But Your Honor, he doesn't at all want to disrespect the court, but since the court knows the players involved, the court can only how difficult it might be for the other party to stay away when they sort of rely on somebody for their most basic needs. So I think that's where we're at.
So you guys were in Sturgis. Now you're at, so the room this went down at, was at your room, Michael?
Yes, sir.
And she came to your room?
Yes. As she was directed by an officer. A police officer arrived at the Spartan Motel. He was investigating, I guess, an altercation or something with one of the other rooms. And he found out I knew one of the people that was there, and he came to ask me about it. And I told him I couldn't help him. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. And as I turned around to leave, he was like, okay, now you're under arrest for contacting Clara. You sent her to my room to get me. Is that, never mind.
Where does Clara stay?
She's going to be staying with me. She's got nowhere else to go, nobody to help her. I'm doing this because, Your Honor, I'm trying to help her.
Well, you're going to get arrested all over again if she's back at your room.
Well, I'll give her the room and I'll go somewhere else, but
All right,
somebody
that's
has
probably
to-
the safest course of action. But if they find you together again tonight, they're going to arrest you again.
They won't find
Now,
us together.
she
again.
can petition, ask the prosecutor to lift the bond condition.
That's
I would
what she's
recommend
trying.
two things: that you contact your lawyer, Mr. Ross Truckee, and discuss this with him. I'm going to let you out of jail. I find that you are in contempt for violating your bond condition. I'm going to give you 1 day jail credit, 1 day, and let you out. But the bond condition remains in effect. If she wants to lift it, I guess she can ask me, but this case is pending. It's a 1-year misdemeanor, domestic violence, second offense. And I do appreciate that you're her primary source of support, but she needs some other services. And maybe this will force it, but you may have to stay in another room or stay with family or something. Although this is very convenient for your work. Do you walk to work from there?
Yes, sir.
All right, you understand the bond condition is still in effect.
Yes,
And if
sir.
you guys are back together, I'm going to end up seeing you again, and I'm going to leave you in jail until your hearing date of the 19th. Now, this is Judge Patterson's case, but he's not here. So I'm just cautioning you, don't get right back in the same boat you're in. Bond conditions remain in effect.
Okay. I just have to find somebody that can explain it to her. I've tried to tell her time and time again that we cannot be together, but she thinks.
Mr. Frederick, if you go back tonight and she starts approaching you and whatever, call the police, right? And have them ask, so at least it's on the record that you are not trying to have contact with her. And then they can try and explain and maybe get her some services that she needs.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I can stay.
Do you
at
have a
my
way to get
stepmom's.
back to Three Rivers?
What's that?
Do you have a way to get back to Three Rivers?
I can walk it.
Well, if you stop here, I can get you a bus pass, but you might actually get there faster, but it's hot out there.
Thank you, because I'm late for work.
All right, well, stop here on your way and I'll leave a bus pass with the guys out front.
Thank you.
All right, you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Keith, thanks for your help.
Do you have a second one today? Or did I miss
Yep,
that?
that's the only one I had.
All right, have a good day.
Hi, do you guys have any bus passes out there? All right, Michael Frederick is gonna be coming from the jail in a little bit, hopefully before 5 o'clock. He may need one to get to Three Rivers. All right, thanks. Bye. All right, I'm gonna stop this record. We've got small claims here in just a few minutes.